Hello, everybody.
Howdy. Well, since we've been reading comments underneath our previously recorded video about Kingdom Hall's closing, we decided that, well, we're just going to have a little bit more fun at Watchtower's expense.
That's always fun.
Somebody in the comments said, something to the effect, what a great close to my Saturday, and something like, I wonder what my Sunday will be like. Well, this is going to be your Sunday if we can get it uploaded tonight.
We're sorry. we hope you would have a better Sunday besides us. Just
yeah, exactly.
Goofing off again.
Couple of knuckleheads on YouTube.
Yeah. But thank you so much, everybody, for your comments. You know, they are just so amazing, and all the information. And go ahead and say what you were going to say, and then I got to say some of the stuff that I've been doing the past couple of days.
Well, I'm not really quite sure where to begin here, because, you know, we're always unscripted, never rehearsed. You know, so we're
Needs to come with a warning label.
Yeah, I need to come with a warning label. But, you know, there's a lot of things that are really going on within Watchtower Land, and because of what's going on, we're going to go ahead and revisit an article that we did a video on, I think twice now, and I think it's appropriate that we revisit this.
One of our favorites.
Yeah, so we're just going to kind of talk about a few things and, you know, things like that. Now, before Kim shows this, I had gone to a rendezvous a couple weeks ago, and I planned on doing a video talking about my shooting and everything else with, you know, a muzzleloader, because I know a lot of the guys and the gals appreciate this sort of thing also. And it also shows that Kim and I do have a life outside of Watchtower. But for me in the rendezvous world, doing the mountain man thing, you know, I've been doing this for over 3 decades, and I've had the privilege of, you know, being in mountain man documentaries. I don't know how big they got or anything like that. I've been on the news regarding these. I've had my photograph taken countless numbers of times.
Magazines, newspapers.
I've had an article written about me, even in an archery magazine. And over the years, I have tried to develop my mountain man persona to the point to where it's not only satisfying to me, obtaining the skills, but it's also, I also tried to develop it so that other people can recognize what I'm trying to portray as, you know, an 1836 mountain man. And this past rendezvous, I was presented with something that was, for me, just awe-inspiring.
Now, I don't know if any of you have heard of Michael Meyer. I've heard he's a pretty famous artist and does a lot of like cowboy and Indian and, you know, mountain man paintings and stuff like that. But he did a pencil drawing of Mike, and I just wanted to share it.
Actually, 2 years ago, he took the photograph, and I just, you know, just totally forgot about it.
Yeah. Isn't that awesome?
So for me, there's, you know, not really any greater honor than that, because that is the copy of the pencil sketching, but it's in the art world now, so.
Hey, I'm happy with the copy of the original. So.
Yeah, so it was really quite an honor to be presented with that. And in fact, the whole weekend ended up being kind of an honorary thing, so, but I'll do a separate video on that.
Now, first, I owe a lot of people an apology.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I had the flu for like 24, 36 hours, and I was totally out of it. I mean, the fever in the evenings got up to like 100.4 Fahrenheit, and I was just totally out of it, and I shouldn't have been answering emails and doing videos and stuff, because, oy vey.
Yeah, oy vey.
So sorry, everybody. Apparently, I sent the HLC information that I had just gotten to the wrong Michael. And I get this message from, you know, the other Michael. And he's like, oh, thank you for the information, you know, on the HLC. And it's like, oh, crap, I meant to send that, you know, to the guy who was in the HLC. And it's like, how did I do that? You know, I know their last names aren't even close. Well, then poor Nellie, she's the one that sent me the convention photo, and I said it was a Pimo, so I owe her an apology. And you just sit here laughing.
I can't help it. Because, you know, when she wasn't in front of the camera, I was suffering the, you know, the effects of having her having the 100 degree plus temperature.
Well, you better be thankful that I didn't throw you outside to the doghouse
Yeah,
and sleep with the dog, you know, so.
I know. But before we, yeah, go ahead.
But thank you, everybody, for the get well wishes. I'm feeling much better. I shouldn't have been out working outside in the hot sun this morning because I was actually trying to get another security camera set up, and no biggie. It's been sitting in the box, you know, because we actually got a setup with 4 cameras, and we just never got around to setting up the 4th one. So I was trying to do that this morning in the hot weather and trimming trees and stuff like that, and it's like I probably overdid it. So if I do or say something goofy, then you'll know why. Heat exhaustion, I guess.
A residual effect.
Now, I think I said South Korea was under ban.
Right.
And I think it was China. So that was another correction that I had to make, you know, that another XJW had written an article, you know, but I think it was China. And, you know, there was 18 Jehovah's Witnesses arrested and put in prison and beaten and everything else, and nobody said anything about that.
I think Korea is got Jehovah's Witnesses in jail cell, but they're being treated very nicely.
Well, if you go to the list that we have, the link underneath our, you know, nail and coffin video we did yesterday, you'll see it's one of those countries that I was talking about. Like I said, I should just go to bed and just be sick and not try to do anything because, oh my goodness, the things that got messed up. My goodness. But I just wanted to mention that we've got some stuff coming in from some of these other conventions, and I just wanted to mention, you know, like I said, nobody has sent me an actual clip yet of, you know, the governing body morons saying this stuff. But
Get his name right. It's not moron. It's Samuel Turd.
Samuel Hurd.
Turd.
Okay? Samuel Hurd. No, Antmo is the turd.
They're all turds. Besides being all knuckleheads.
Well, anyway, Samuel Hurd. So, you know, I've got people sending me these comments that they're seeing online, and I just want to read this one. It says, so on Saturday's final talk of the Love Never Fails convention in San Diego, Samuel Hurd spoke about how beautiful of a place Warwick is. He mentioned the pretty pond and pretty trees. Also, he mentioned how many beautiful animals you get to see every day. He then proceeded to make a disgusting comment. He starts to say how everything Warwick has is thanks to everyone in attendance at the convention. Well, of course, it's at the cost of all the rank and file.
Yes, it is.
This is the disgusting part. His literal words were, I get to enjoy all of that beauty and I don't give anything for it. You do. So I hope somebody has some clips, you know, of some of this. And then you got a phone call tonight. Thank you, Unknown Apostate.
Yes.
Actually, he's not really unknown. We know him.
Yeah, we know him. We know who he is, exactly. Yeah, he was also mentioning that at one of the international conventions, Hurd is also quoted as, once again, demeaning the sisters.
Big surprise.
Something to do with brothers looking at overweight sisters because, you know, they're good cooks, things like that.
They're not as pretty, so they're going to be a better personality.
Better personality, which is actually a slam against, you know, a sister that might be good looking but have an absolutely incredible soul. That's a slam against those people.
Well, the thing is, you know, especially in this country, there's so many overweight people from eating fast food. It doesn't make you a good cook if you're overweight.
Exactly. You know, you could be, you know, drop dead gorgeous, have a beautiful soul, have and be, you know, one hell of a cook, but yet the way I understood it, Samuel Hurd is trying to draw the focus off of them and putting more focus on the, you know, the single, more overweight sisters. So I would really appreciate it if somebody had that recording so that we could listen to it, because from what I was told in the phone call, there were several people that really took offense to that talk. And I would like to hear it from myself so we can get it exactly right, so that, you know, I can poke holes in it. Because it's very demeaning to women, no matter how you view it and no matter how a woman looks. Very demeaning.
And if I understood you properly, it was heard at the Phoenix International Convention?
Yes, in Phoenix.
Yeah. Yeah. So if any of you have any recordings, you know, from Saturday afternoon and heard spew this hate speech.
Yeah. Jehovah Witness hate speech, and or you know, if you were there and you heard it, please write out what you heard and just send
write
us
it in
an
the
email.
comments.
Write it in the comments. Send us
For
an
everybody
email.
to
Yeah,
see.
so that here again, I was told on the phone that several Jehovah's Witnesses took exception to it. So it must not have been a very loving talk.
Well, I happen to know a chef that is skinny and very beautiful, a beautiful blonde lady who is an excellent cook. We've even shared recipes. She's not overweight in the slightest. So, and I mean, she has a beautiful soul. You know, we've talked back and forth.
Everybody has a beautiful soul. You just have to bring it out.
Except for the soulless archons.
Yeah, except for the soulless archons. That's right. Yes. So, I guess we ought to just take this opportunity right now and reintroduce everybody into one of my favorite Watchtower articles.
Now, if you go back to our videos and in the search box, put credentials.
Type in credentials.
We've done at least 2 or 3 videos about this because, like I said, this is one of our favorites.
Yes.
And we have the Bond volume, so this isn't hearsay.
No, and I'm just going to reiterate, you know, in case you haven't seen those 2 videos previously. In my opinion, this is the single most ridiculous article Watchtower has ever produced.
I don't know.
I
don't know. It's a
got
toss-up between a few of them. But, I mean, this is right there at the top.
Yeah,
the top 5.
Yes, because, I mean, I actually had more fun doing that video, busting apart this Watchtower article.
Well, if I remember right, I mean, even like a month or so later after we do a video, we'd be doing a video, and all of a sudden we'd be talking about the governing body, and he'd go, Eagles!
Hey, Eagles!
Now, many of you may not know what we're talking about. It is in the March 1st, 1981 Watchtower, page 24. Do you appreciate the faithful and discreet slave?
Here we go again.
See, I can't even read this with a straight face.
Because we know what it entails.
Oh my goodness. So, the subheadings. We're trying, folks. Really, we're trying to be serious here. The first subheading, who really is the faithful and discreet slave? The next subheading, the faithful slave disappears from clear view. The next one, the faithful slave identified by its activity. And then our favorite part, on page 27, the overwhelming credentials. And they have a list about this long with scriptures. And most of the time, they just have one word in the scripture.
Like eagles?
Well, like number 1, Noah's wife. Genesis 7:7.
That's a credential?
Let me read the paragraph underneath the subheading of overwhelming credentials, and then you'll see why this is so hysterical to us and so fun to mock.
And maybe you guys might get a clearer understanding why I just say that these guys are complete idiots, buffoons, knuckleheads, monkeys at the typewriters, because when you guys see this, you can't help but draw that picture. What a nest of nincompoops these guys really are.
Okay, so on page 27, under the subheading, Overwhelming Credentials, the first paragraph, the faithful and discreet slave has abundant credentials. Stop it. I'm trying to read this. Following is a partial list.
Partial, guys. The freaking list is longer than this, and this is just a partial.
Oh. All right. Following is a partial list of scriptural and prophetic designations applying to or being represented in the remnant of Jesus Christ's anointed followers since the notable year of 1919. And like I said, the very first one is Noah's wife, Genesis 7:7. They give no explanation. They just have a word or two and then the scripture. And like Mike, one of his favorite ones is down here, eagles. They don't explain how this is a credential for the governing body.
Just
or
eagles.
What. Or what.
Yeah.
But we have thought of a new credential to add to this list.
Yes.
Of the overwhelming credentials of the governing body.
Defendants. Come on, Watchtower. Now that you've been named as defendants, there's your frickin' credentials. How is this list gonna stand up in court, you morons?
Yeah. Take this list to the Supreme Court and say, oh, we need to be let off because we're God's chosen people because of...
overwhelming credentials.
Yeah, because the angels were sent to Lot. Genesis 19:15.
I mean, if you guys have got this, you really need to go look at the list of credentials found on page 27. Again, that's the March
1st, 1981 Watchtower.
1981 Watchtower. Yeah, well, their new credential is defendants.
So, yeah, I guess that would be number 81 then. Defendants.
Defendants.
I'll pencil it in.
Yeah, definitely pencil it into the bottom of that book.
Yeah. On a serious note, though, because we know they have been named specifically in several lawsuits, like the ones that just, got filed just the other day.
Yes.
So.
I do want to read something from Black's Law Dictionary, the 5th edition. I happen to be looking for the word apostate just to happen to see if it was a term that's been used and or defined and accepted in a court of law.
Oh, big surprise. It's not in there.
It's not there. But I happen to be looking for that word, and I came across another definition, and it's called apparent authority. And I'd like to read what Black's Law Dictionary has to say about apparent authority, because it just might carry a little bit of weight in some of these lawsuits, litigations, things like that. And there again, one of the ways that we can defeat Watchtower, obviously, is get these monkeys' asses in court, but to maybe help the lawyers look at some of these terms and how they might be able to be used against the Watchtower Babel Crap Society. Apparent authority. In the law of agency, such authority as the principal knowingly or negligently permits the agent to assume, or which he holds the agent out as possessing, such as the Watchtower Bible Tract Society giving authority to the elders, perhaps, such authority as he appears to have by reason of the actual authority which he has. Such authority as a reasonably prudent man, using diligence and discretion in view of the principal's conduct, would naturally suppose the agent to possess. And isn't that the hierarchy at a church setting? You know, elders, deacons. Such authority as a principal
Governing body.
Governing body, handing down the authority allegedly. That's right. You know, like saying, well, just go ahead and lie to the authorities about who owns the literature carts. Okay, it includes, let me make sure, okay, let me get back to where I was. Such authority as a principal intentionally or by want of ordinary care causes or allows third person to believe that agent possesses. So we have the faithful and discreet slave class with their overwhelming credentials giving authority supposedly to the elders
And circuit overseers.
And then those elders, how does it word that? Such authority as a principal intentionally or by want of ordinary care causes or allows third person to believe that agent possesses. And don't all the rank and file believe the elders possess that authority?
Well, look at this sentence here. It includes the power to do whatever is usually done and necessary to be done in order to carry into effect the principal power conferred.
Oh, you mean like disfellowshipping dissenters? That's the power the governing body not the governing body, but the elders have over the third person party. The power the power to affect the legal relations of another person by transactions with third persons, professedly as agent for the other, arising from and in accordance with the other's manifestations to such third persons. Restatement second. Agency, a little mark and a number 8. I don't know what that means. But you have to recognize that in watchtower hierarchy, apparent authority.
And that's exactly what, Watchtower does. All of these. And like we've mentioned before, Watchtower now is saying, oh, well, the CCJW, the Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses, in charge of the congregations and stuff. No. Where is the ultimate authority coming from?
Right.
It's coming from Watchtower.
Yes.
They don't have Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses on their building. It says Watchtower. But videos,
JW.org,
talk outlines, instructions for circuit overseers, all of these manuals. It isn't just the organization book, but it's your branch manuals, your elders' books, all of those. Where did they ultimately come from?
So anyhow, I hope reading that definition of apparent authority, because see, apparently is not reality. And unfortunately, as Jehovah's Witnesses, we've all been deceived because, we followed the credentials of the faithful and discreet slave. We thought that apparently they had authority that they conferred from God, that they conferred onto the elders, which they hold over you. Apparently is not real. It appears to be real, but it's not.
Well, the same thing. Look, they use fear. And you always say that's an acronym for
false evidence appearing real.
Exactly.
Especially when you got a list of bullshit credentials like this. I mean, oh my goodness, if you people just saw that list, you would recognize that those guys in New York are really a bunch of clowns. And they got a bunch of clowns writing this crap.
Yeah.
My goodness.
You know, it's probably available in the jw.org library.
Probably is. Yeah, probably is.
Yeah, it probably is. So, thank you so much, everybody, for your great comments. And I think I'm going to put a link to a video that someone sent us. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. It was a really good video.
Yeah, very thought-provoking.
Yes, and I appreciate it because they said, I think this is why the Bible bullies have been so active lately.
Yeah. Well, it's, it's not just against us. It's others in
Everybody.
the ex-Jehovah Witness community, too, that are on a different path.
Well, it's not just the XGW community.
Well,
I mean, you said, look, a little girl is playing the drums on YouTube, and they're attacking her.
They're attacking her.
It's like, oh my God, what is wrong with people?
Yeah.
Must be something in the water or air or something. I don't. Maybe it's all that Archon negative energy.
It could be. And also, too, I did another video this previous week about the Bible showing some scriptures that we were never ever shown as Jehovah's Witnesses or even talked about. And it's another one of those hard-hitting, thought-provoking videos.
And we would never want to, offend anybody and, hurt your feelings. And we're not attacking, the Christians. That rumor going around is pure slander because we're not attacking Christians. We're only trying to bring information that you can go research.
Yes. So if you elect to watch that, in the scriptures that I'm showing and the things that I'm bringing out, ask yourself this question. If I had known that these things existed in the Bible regarding the nation of Israel and or Jehovah himself, would you have been so willing to join the Watchtower Bible Tract Society? And there again, there might be some things that I'm bringing out that just might help you wake up a family member. Because if child abuse isn't doing it, if, criminal activity by Watchtower isn't doing it, then just maybe something in Scripture will do it. Because these are things that we were never ever taught the significance of. And I actually have 2 parts done. Second part has not been edited yet. And there's going to be more to come also. So it is my hope that you do watch it with an open mind. And there again, if you do, ask yourself the question. If I was aware of this, even before starting a Bible study with Jehovah's Witnesses, would you have been so inclined to continue?
Yeah. Exactly. And along those lines, I had mentioned in our last video that there's a video going around that is really crazy about us being
lizards.
Lizard people. Right. Anyway, sorry it upset you, guy. And I noticed someone down in the comments, they said, "Good night, my lizard friends."
Yes, so I want to get one thing made perfectly clear right here, right now, so that nobody will misunderstand what I'm about to say. We are not lizard people. We are slee stacks.
And for those of you who do not know that,
go watch
Land of the Lost.
Land of the Lost.
Land of the Lost. It was a show that when we were kids that we used to watch, and the slee stacks in there, they were the enlightened ones. They were the wisdom keepers. So if anybody is a lizard person, it's like, I think I would rather be a slee stack than an actual lizard person.
Right.
Because the slee stack, they were always the smart, You know, well, not the drone, but there was that. Al was that one.
Well, you would know that better than me because
Yeah.
I don't watch much of that.
Wasn't his name like Enoch or something like that?
I don't remember.
Anyway, there was one Sleestack that he was in the library, and he was the smart, enlightened one, and he was the wisdom keeper and all of that. That's how we think of ourselves.
Oh, wait a minute! I'm thinking of the wrong movie. I'm thinking of the Morlocks. Now I know what movie you're talking about. Yes.
You're
now
thinking of the Time Machine.
The Time Machine. Oh, how could I have been so wrong?
Wow.
Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the laughs. It's been fun for Kim and I to sit down and do this evening.
Yes.
And I think we're going to call it an evening right here and bid everybody adieu.
Yes.
And any final words there, sweetheart?
I think I'm almost well, but if any of you get any weird emails or things sent to you out of the blue, it's like, now why would Kim send this to me? You know.
Sleestacks. Wasn't it the guy that played the Enlightened one? That was Alfred Newman, right? Or the guy that played the butler on Batman, right?
I don't
Alfred?
know who played it.
Or am I thinking of another movie now?
I'll tell you what's going to happen now.
Oh,
As soon as we sign off here, we're going to have to go to YouTube and find the old Land of the Lost, and I'm going to have to show him who the enlightened, smart one was of the Sleestacks. Oy vey.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.